If you want to game on the go, then the ideal solution is to pick up one of the best handheld games consoles. As much as we love some of the best gaming consoles like the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and PlayStation 5, there is no denying the fact that they're all pretty heavy and therefore very poorly suited for any kind of portable play. Thankfully, there are now plenty of fantastic handheld alternatives on the market, ranging from those geared towards avid retro gamers to fully fledged handheld PCs that allow you to play some of the best PC games while you're out and about. Unfortunately, so much choice can make the experience of picking a new system quite overwhelming. So we've created this list of our top picks for the best handheld games consoles in order to simplify the process. Each of the entries on this list has been extensively tested, and we have carefully considered a wide range of criteria, including offering options for PC gamers who want to make the most of their existing libraries and cheaper products that would be perfect for those on a budget. In addition to providing some expert buying advice, we carefully monitor the latest product releases to ensure that this list remains up to date. We have listed the top 5 best handheld gaming consoles and their key features. You need to consider this to help you choose the best one for you. For more information on the product, as always, I've included a link in the description box down below, which are updated with the best prices on each product. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. Now let's get started. Number 5. Nintendo Switch OLED. I'm going to make this absolutely simple for you. The Switch OLED is the best Nintendo Switch there is, period. But your kids aren't going to care. Or at least mine didn't. I learned this the hard way when I took the OLED screen switch downstairs to show my kids and got the cold, hard shrug of indifference. My littlest kid wants a Switch he can fold up and put in his pocket. My older kid thought it was nicer, but also said he's fine with the Switch he has. That's the thing about the latest Switch update. The subtle upgrades are great, but they're also more like things the original Switch should have had in the first place. The newest version of the Switch is the most expensive, $350, or $50 more than the original Switch. Is it worth it? To me, yes. To my kids, no. But I'm old, my eyes are bad, and I love the idea of tabletop game consoles. I bought a fancy Kindle Oasis midway through the pandemic. I already had a Kindle Paperwhite. I read a lot. The Oasis has a nicer, bigger screen. I don't regret it. The Switch OLED is like the Kindle Oasis of Switches. That bigger, more vibrant OLED display is obviously better. That's why a lot of people at CNET, not me though, have an OLED TV, and we've been talking about the advantage OLED brings to phones for years. One thing I don't know the answer to yet is if there are any concerns with screen burn-in. If you play a lot of Switch games in handheld mode and want the best experience, this is it. And now that I've played it for a week, I obviously like this Switch the best. But the other way this shines is in the Switch's third mode, tabletop mode. Number 4. Nintendo Switch Lite. The original Nintendo Switch no longer feels like a proper portable device now that I've used the Switch Lite. This new slimmed-down version reminds me of the Game Boy Advance in look and feel, offering a cheaper and more attractive way to play the Switch's incredible library on the go. Of course, it comes at the cost of its signature ability to dock and play on a TV, sacrificing a whole lot of flexibility in how you play. But while the Lite can't actually switch, it certainly does the mode it's stuck in well enough to satisfy anybody looking to replace their aging Nintendo 3DS. In fact, if I'm playing a game in handheld mode anyway, I'd rather do so on a Switch Lite than on a full-fledged Switch. I was impressed from the first moment I took this lovely yellow Switch Lite out of its box. It's also currently available in gray and turquoise, and have grown even more in love with its little tweaks and improvements as I've used it more over the last week. The clean matte finish and surprisingly lightweight, 9.7 OZ down from the original 14 O's, feels great in my hands, to the point where the clunkier patchwork body of my regular Switch and its attached Joy-Con is suddenly much more obvious than it was just a couple of weeks ago. While the Lite's screen is certainly smaller, 5.5 inches, down from the original's 6.2-inch screen, it doesn't really feel that way while playing. I got used to it right away and barely noticed. Instead, when I went back to my regular Switch, its screen suddenly felt noticeably large. That's a small distinction, but it means the Lite's size quickly appears natural, not reduced. Number 3. Steam Deck. Have no hesitation in recommending it anymore. The kind of person who would buy one should buy one. My only question, are you that kind of person? In February of last year, I truthfully wrote that the Steam Deck wasn't ready, and I stand by every word of that review. But it's ready now, and while it's still not finished, and may never be finished, Valve has spent nearly a year and over 100 updates showing that an early access game console can actually be worth money. Valve has finally succeeded in proving doubters wrong about Linux, creating a gadget that spent 35 weeks atop the Steam bestseller list and attracted support from Sony, Microsoft, and more. In my eyes, this was a triumph. A dark horse that will shape the gaming landscape for years to come. Practically, this handheld gaming PC will never be a Nintendo Switch or PlayStation Vita. You'll never know for sure that a game will work and keep on working before you spend your cash. But if you're the kind of person who is frustrated by the Vita's missed potential, who wishes the Switch were more powerful, or who simply wants to burn through your backlog of PC games, the deck delivers at an unbeatable price. It's quite possibly the most powerful gaming PC ever sold for $400, with roughly the power of a PS4 under its 7-inch screen. I should know. I've now spent 435 hours playing Steam games across 3 different decks, averaging well over an hour per day since launch. I've torn through all 150 hours of Elden Ring and beat Stray, Cult of the Lamb, Signalis, The Forgotten City, Into the Breach, and Vampire Survivors on the deck alone. I'm in the middle of dozens more. Plus, those 435 hours don't count all the time I've spent futzing around with alternative game stores, emulators, streaming games from PS5 to the handheld, or cracking open the case to install a better fan and a larger SSD. Number 2. Super Pocket. The Super Pocket is a phenomenally cheap portable arcade machine that's an absolute joy to play on. While enthusiasts and those well-versed in emulation will likely be drawn to other gaming handhelds, this dinky device is for both casual players and people who want quick, easy access to the classics. In many ways, the Super Pocket is the budget gaming handheld I've been waiting for. We're talking about a fully fledged portable console with its own ecosystem of cartridges that costs less than a new Switch game. And that's something I can get fully on board with amid a cost of living crisis. I'm just glad that Blaze, the company behind the new Hyper Megatech brand and overarching Evercade platform, decided to avoid gunning for the premium market, as its latest device will ultimately help keep bygone classics alive via financial approachability. Coming in at just $59.99, $49.99, the Super Pocket takes to the best gaming handheld stage with an incredible price tag. Sure, there are other emulation-based consoles out there that can scratch your retro itch for a similar price, but I'd argue Hyper Megatech's contribution to the Evercade family is in an entirely different league. Not least due to the fact this console requires no faffing around with emulators, as the whole experience is as plug-and-play as it gets. Is the Super Pocket perfect? Well, no, but I honestly was expecting it to be less so for the price. The handheld pretty much nails everything it sets out to achieve, and any niggles I do have are sort of tied to the nature of the device. Simply put, if you wish you had a console that looks like a Game Boy, but offers instant access to re-released classics and a few indie games for good measure, you'll want to become pals with this portable. Number 1. PlayStation Handheld. Portal Oni is often at its best when it's at its weirdest, like making donut-shaped earbuds that are actually super comfy, or a speaker and lamp combo that totally looks like a bong for some reason. But when it comes to the PlayStation Portal, the weirdness isn't just in the design, it's at the core foundation of, why does this thing exist? PlayStation Remote Play is far from a new feature, and it's something you can use with multi-purpose devices like a phone, tablet, or laptop at no additional cost. So why spend $200 on a dedicated piece of hardware for only this one feature? After spending a lot more time with the PlayStation Portal since my initial hands-on, I think I've finally figured it out. This thing is an air fryer. You may be asking, wait, how is a gaming handheld a home cooking appliance? Well, much like an air fryer, the Portal is a device that costs a not insignificant amount of money that does just one thing with only one way of doing it. It streams games off your PS5 via Wi-Fi. While other multi-use devices can pull the same task, PS5 Remote Play works on Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, iPadOS, and even the PS4. And also like an air fryer, you likely already have a device that does the same thing as the Portal. Many home ovens offer convection heating, which is how an air fryer cooks. But I'll be damned if firing up some crispy chicken nuggets in 10 minutes or grabbing a quick game session while in bed aren't the same kind of convenience.